The following is a presentation of the City of Miamisburg, celebrating its bicentennial in 2018. Hello, welcome to Let's Talk Miamisburg for the month of June. Glad to have you with us again. I'm Gary Giles. I'm the city's public information officer. Miamisburg was founded on the banks of the Great Miami River 200 years ago, and today that river is a key component of the city's efforts to revitalize its downtown district. There is also a regional effort to capitalize on the benefits and potential benefits of the river. It's called the Great Miami Riverway. Miamisburg is an active supporter, and we're going to learn more about that over the next 30 minutes. Joining me to my immediate left is Miamisburg Community Development Director, Katie Frank. And to my far left, or on the far right of your screen, is Great Miami Riverway Coordinator, Elizabeth Connor. Before we get started, viewers should be aware that our episode here in June is pre-recorded. As a result, we will be unable to accept questions over the phone. We will, however, be providing you with contact information if you'd like to follow up on our topics. Elizabeth and Katie, so glad to have you. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Elizabeth, you're a first-time guest, so tell our viewers a little bit about your professional background, including your current responsibilities.
I am the Great Miami Riverway Coordinator. So I work at the Miami Conservancy District. We're up in Dayton, right on Monument Avenue, across from Riverscape. But I'm actually employed by a coalition called the Great Miami Riverway, and that's 19 different partners from Sydney down to Hamilton. So we're coming up on my 1-year anniversary. I just moved down to the area from Cleveland, Ohio.
Well, we look forward to maybe some future appearances.
Fantastic.
Since you're new to the region, we're glad you're with us.
Thank you.
Katie, you've been with the City of Miamisburg for about 10 years now, and
Yes.
your career has taken a new turn in recent months. Tell us about that.
It has, yes. So for the past about 10 years, I have done downtown development, and now it is expanded into community development. So I will still be doing many of my downtown roles, and which involves a vast variety of items, and then also we'll be expanding into community and neighborhood revitalization programs.
Well, congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
But what were some of those downtown roles that you've had traditionally?
Traditionally,
Yeah.
well, one is working with existing and new businesses,
Sure.
and bringing them in, maintaining existing. Another role is grants, business grants, rehab grants. Any kind of aesthetics or infrastructure downtown. I've worked with those types of items. Just a few of them.
Sure, sure. Well, we'll get into a little bit more about your new duties a little later in the program. Before we get to our main topic, we would be remiss if we didn't touch on the Miamisburg Bicentennial Celebration. We've been talking about it here on the program for several months, and it's here. June 16th to the 23rd. We're going to put those dates on the screen for you. Katie, I would like to get some of your thoughts on the city's bicentennial. Daily events taking place for a full week. What a showcase for the downtown district where most of those activities are going to be taking place.
Yes, this is obviously, I would assume everybody has heard about this by now. I would hope so. This will be a significant 7-8 days for my downtown Miamisburg and the community as a whole. We are kicking off on Saturday, June 16th with a parade, and basically every single day at Riverfront Park there will be carnival rides, there will be kids entertainment, there will be live bands on the stage every night. There will be fireworks at the end, Dayton Philharmonic, Ricky Skaggs. I mean, just it literally does not stop. So there will be constant activities. There will be a shuttle route that will be taking place to help with parking situations downtown, which hopefully will alleviate some of that congestion that we'll be having.
There will be normal traffic congestion, parking congestion,
Yes.
What kind of message would you like to give to the public about those? It's a large number of people we're expecting to come downtown.
Right. The message would be probably just please bear with us, be patient, and just acknowledging that there will be more cars, more people. There will be parking. I will stress that there will be parking on side streets. There will be parking at the shuttle stops, and just please bear with us and enjoy the festivities. Even if you have to walk a couple blocks extra, it's still worth it.
Oh, absolutely. And it's not just for people in Miamisburg. I know this show attracts viewers from throughout the Miami Valley region, the southern part of the county, and everyone's invited to come down. We want to extend that welcome to everybody throughout the region to come and help Miamisburg celebrate this special 200th birthday. Riverfront Park is really the hub. We've talked about that. Staff and a citizens committee have done much to get ready. What are you hearing in the business community downtown when they're preparing for thousands of people to be coming down?
They have really jumped on board and embraced the bicentennial. They are excited. They are ready. There is a designated business day downtown, which they had T-shirts made with businesses listed. They've had special wooden nickels made. I know Ron's Pizza. Hopefully they don't run out super quick because I'm announcing this, but they just made 500 special Parmesan shakers that have Ron's logo and the bicentennial logo. So all businesses are doing a variety of special things for this week.
What's a special thing? Among the highlights, just real briefly, parades on opening day and closing day, the 16th and the 23rd, traveling westbound on Central Avenue, and those begin at 11 a.m. on those 2 days. As Katie mentioned, live entertainment in Riverfront Park, daytime, evening, all 8 days. You're going to see things going on in Riverfront Park in terms of live entertainment. Of course, one of the highlights is Ricky Skaggs, presented by Kettering Health Network and Sycamore Medical Center. That's Wednesday night, the 20th, I believe. 8 p.m. is the start time for that. Free admission. Children's activities in the park through the day, during the weekday, and then the closing fireworks that you mentioned after a performance by the Dayton Philharmonic concert band outdoor, which is sure to be special. So for more information, please visit Miamisburg200.com. A lot of things on there. We'll catch you up on the activities, and there's also a Miamisburg 200th Facebook page. We want to encourage you to visit there for all the latest updates. You're watching Let's Talk Miamisburg, a production of the Miami Valley Communications Council. We're glad to have you with us. We're talking about downtown Miamisburg. We're talking about the Great Miami Riverway, recreation opportunities that are available and special events, and we're glad to have you with us. This is for the month of June. So Katie, recreation, entertainment, things like the bicentennial events that we've talked about, the bike path and the river that Elizabeth's going to talk a little bit more about, that's a key part of the vision for the future of downtown Miamisburg, isn't it?
Right,
the community's vision.
Yes, definitely. And again, Elizabeth will talk about this more in detail, and she has all the fun number facts of how bike trails and rivers and recreation actually equal dollars and increase economic development and quality of life for people. So that is something that for Miamisburg especially, we have. Our downtown and the city lies directly on the Great Miami River and the bike trail. And I think for in years past, some of these things have maybe been I don't know if I'll use the word forgotten. I mean, maybe just kind of passed by or just not really thought of as a transportation means or even as a recreational means. And so I know through the city and the Great Miami Riverway, we are really trying to just educate people and make people aware again of this amazing asset that is so close to their home, and it's free, and you can go and walk, you can take your kids. I see bike riders constantly on the bike trail. We are actually in the process of hiring somebody or consultant to develop an outdoor strategic plan for the city of Miamisburg, and again, it's to embrace our community and our citizens and residents and show them how to use these features and these assets that we have.
And for the viewer who may not have ever been to historic downtown Miamisburg, the bike path and the Great Miami River run right adjacent to the business district. It couldn't be closer unless it was Venice.
Right. Yeah. Right. It's a canal.
So you want to utilize that
right.
as an attraction if you're trying to build up and develop and revitalize your downtown district, which of course brings us to you, Elizabeth, and the Great Miami Riverway. Tell us what it is and why it was formed.
So the Great Miami Riverway is 99 miles of river, paved trails, and connected communities. So we want to make sure that we really educate everyone that the scope of the project is not just the river or the bike trails, it's not just outdoor recreation, but it really connects those pieces with our historic downtowns. So we look at, in all of our different work ethics, whether it's physical improvements, which are like capital improvements, things like Riverfront Park, or if it's signage and wayfinding. We'll have some kiosks going out, some medallions. You'll start seeing those in Miamisburg this year. So whether it's that, whether it's marketing, we want to make sure that we're connecting trail users and river users to the downtown businesses, and then we want to make sure we're connecting those downtown businesses back into that trail and river network.
Sure.
So a lot of what we do is making sure that we're communicating those economic development dollars. So we look a lot at the Ohio tourism industry. We are technically a destination marketing organization. That's kind of the easiest catch-all bucket that you can put us into. So Ohio tourism is a $43 billion industry. It supports 428,000 jobs. That's 1,000 more than there were even last year, and we've seen those numbers increase over the past 5 or 6 years. So we're really excited about that. Just in our region, throughout the Great Miami Riverway, we touch 5 different counties, from Sydney in the north down to Hamilton in the south. So that's 48,000 jobs that we support just in tourism. And we've seen that number increase 16.4% as well. So as Katie said, I'm full of numbers and statistics, but really it's all about those stories and people having a good time making those memories. And that all translates into dollars for all of our community residents.
Well, let's put that map on the screen and show the viewer what kind of distance we're talking about. You said 99 miles, and there it is. Was the organization formed because there are other communities like Miamisburg who want to utilize the river as an asset, and it's sort of a great catch-all for a cooperative partnership to do that?
Very much so. So we have a lot of historic communities, Main Street communities, bicycle-friendly communities that are all up and down the river. And when we had, back in 2014, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers came out and did their largest river asset inventory in their organization's history. And that was thanks to a lot of the community leaders and government elected officials that are part of these communities. And when they came out and did that study, they looked at everything and said, you know, some places need trail gap closures, or some places need better signage, or a community amphitheater, or whatever it may be. But the biggest thing that came out of that study was that we needed some type of regional identity.
Sure.
So we have all of these amazing assets, but people don't necessarily know that they exist. And so when we kind of cooperatively band all of those different messages together, we can compete on a much larger scale. So we can compete with the Outer Banks, with the Napa Valleys, with the Smoky Mountains. So I mean, all of those different communities, while they're all very much unique in their own character, they all have these amazing historic districts and downtown, you know, these walkable shopping districts, these river and trail networks. So it was a nice combination to pull everyone together.
While this is a newish organization, Katie, there's been talk about this type of cooperative partnership for several years, going back most of the time that you've been with the city.
Right.
Even under a previous name, the City of Miamisburg has been very supportive of that.
Right, yes, that's, it's probably been about 10 years
11
now.
years, yeah.
11 years that the University of Dayton, the Fitz Center River Steward Program, basically they came together and spearheaded the first River Summit. And they worked with partners such as MCD and Five Rivers Metro Parks and a variety of other partners. And they had this summit of UD students and regional partners and collaborations. And that then evolved into the Ohio's Great Corridor Association, which we've talked about over the years also. And so basically then, you know, this group said, you know, we need this initiative to be for real and to take off and really, like Elizabeth said, establish an identity. And so that's where Elizabeth came in a year ago, and this is a great example of partnership, like Elizabeth said, across county lines, jurisdiction lines. I mean, there's a lot of different entities that have supported this.
We're talking here on this show about Miamisburg events that are coming up along the river. Are you seeing a lot of that along that 99-mile stretch during the warm weather month, and anything specifically that you'd like to share and promote?
Yeah, so we have a lot of communities that are really starting to take advantage of the river.
Sure.
So we have things like River's Edge concerts down in Hamilton, Sydney, they're doing a concert series as well. You have Treasure Island River Fest that's coming up at the end of June up in Troy. Up in Piqua, they have Down a River, Down a Beer, which if you have not done that is fantastic. I missed it last year and I was very sad. So it's been on my calendar for like a full year, so I don't miss it this year.
Not a beer on the river.
No, no. There's a tasting and a
encourage
canoe.
that.
Yeah, right,
No,
exactly.
it's after the river.
But there's a lot of, we're talking about alcohol now, but there's a lot of family-friendly things as well. So if you want to look at Toowowa Park up in Sydney, they have their 70th anniversary coming up. Obviously, there are tons of events that happen in downtown Dayton, whether you're at Riverscape or just on the trail system, if you're at Carillon Park. And all those, we've combined. One of the great things about having this regional effort is we have a clearinghouse for all of those different events. So we recently launched our website. We're very proud about that. And it has a lot of different trip planning things that you can do in there. So if you're a resident and you want to see, if you've never been on the river, you want to find out where the nearest rental is, whether that's for bicycles or kayaks, we have that on there. If you're bringing your family in and you want to figure out a whole weekend itinerary, we can help you with that too. So hopefully that's all very useful to folks.
Well, let's give that website address now.
GreatMiamiRiverway.com.
And tell us about this one component you have on there where bikers might find it very useful. Bicyclers.
Yes, so we are really excited.
Cyclists.
We were cyclists.
Is it bicyclists? Make sure I say that correctly.
Bicyclers.
So we have the trail conditions map. So that was a partnership with the University of Dayton students, and we were really excited to be able to launch that. So normally when you have a website, the webmaster has to go in and manually update those trail conditions and say, oh, the trail's underwater or it's under construction or whatever it may be. The students actually created a web crawler that uses Miami Conservancy District data and USGS data and tells people every 15 minutes, so basically live, when you can go on the trail. So you'll see on the bike trail, right. So you'll see green means it's all clear, red means it's underwater. We have construction icons. Some of the things you'll see in the future, we'll be starting to work on things for people that are recreating on the river. So bacteria levels, flow rates, water temperature, anything like that. So that we'll have all the things that you need to know whether you can get on the Great Miami River and the trail network, one in one central location, which is going to be really nice.
What do you see as some of the future goals for the organization? It's in its infancy.
Yes.
The board is the slate is blank going forward. What do you see as the future?
So we're really excited. So we launched in 2017 the brand, right? And I was hired then, so I mean, we're, like you say, we're in our first year and a half. So the fact that we've partnered with Tourism Ohio, we've talked to travel writers in Indianapolis for Midwest Living, for Outside Magazine, Canoe and Kayak Magazine. So we want to make sure that we're continuing all that. So anytime that we're able to get out and talk to some of those either regional or statewide or national publications, we always send them back to individual locations like the small businesses, like the parks, and all of our different communities. So anytime we can get out there, we're going to push that. You'll see our signage and wayfinding expand. So in the next 3 years, we have 49 different locations for kiosks that we've identified. So those will start rolling out. In physical improvements, oh my gosh. So last year alone, in 2017, we had $1.8 million in river access improvements. That's allowing people to recreate safer on the river. And then also in 2017, we had $16 million in riverfront developments. So that's things like luxury apartments down in Hamilton that are overlooking the river. That's like the Levitt Pavilion up in Dayton, or if we're looking at up in the north, if you want to look at Loch 9 Park in Piqua, Riverfront Park here in Miamisburg. So those things are just going to continue to improve. We've looked at the trail gaps and really prioritized those. So on the Great Miami River Recreation Trail, Route 25, We have 3 gaps. One of those is going to close in 2020, so we already have funding for that, and that's fantastic. So in between Franklin and Middletown, you'll be able to complete that path, which means that we only have 2 more gaps left, one in between Piqua and Sydney, and then one in between Middletown and Hamilton. So out of that 99-mile stretch, we only have about 10 more miles to go, which is not bad.
That's terrific.
You know, I mean, that's a really positive thing. So we're going to look at ways, first and foremost, as how to finish those last 10-ish miles.
Again, you're watching Let's Talk Miamisburg, a production of the Miami Valley Communications Council. We're glad to have you with us. This is our June episode. We're talking about outdoor recreation, the river, the bike trail, a lot of summer activities going on all along the river's edge, 99 miles from Sydney to Hamilton, you said.
Yep.
So a lot going on. It's a great community asset, regional asset. In that vein, Elizabeth is talking about improvements and capital improvements. Last year, the city completed an improved launch site for boats into the river near downtown Miamisburg. We're going to put a picture on the screen to show the viewer at home what we're talking about. What can you tell us about that project?
Well, this project took several years in the making, actually. I mean, you're dealing with you know, different property owners and use agreements and construction and all of that. But this project does provide safe, easy access in and out of the river. People can go to West Carrollton, to the dam. They can put in a kayak there, and they can get out here at Case Landing. Again, this is called Case Landing. We will reiterate that. It has an official name, and that is named after former Councilman Charlie Case for his active role in river access and just promoting this initiative. And so if you float from West Carrollton to this spot, it's about, I don't know, maybe 6-ish miles or so. You can also put in at Case Landing and take out your boat at Rice Field, which is a much quicker trip. It's about maybe a couple miles or so. So if you want to just kind of start off in the Great Miami River and, you know, a simple trip, then I would recommend that one. We are actually during Bicentennial Week. There will be 2 days. I believe it's a Sunday and a Wednesday. It's on the Explore Miamisburg website, but where there will be free kayak and stand-up paddleboard offered, but to just paddle in between the bridges, basically, just again to kind of get the feel of what it's like to be in a boat or on a board in the river, and it's supervised and free, like I said, and hopefully the plan is, again, with this outdoor recreation plan, the initiative is to offer more classes and opportunities for people to get out there on the river if they don't already have their own boats and knowledge of how to get in and out. And
describe that location that we're looking at.
Case Landing is on the north side of the Linden Avenue Bridge. So Linden Avenue Bridge on the south part of downtown. This is on the north side and the west side of the river. Yes.
Okay. And we're not talking about an entryway for motorboats, are we?
No. No motorized vehicles or boats, no.
What kind of boats are we talking about? Just reiterate.
Hand-powered. So kayaks, canoes, stand-up paddle boards. That's all that I know of.
Okay. So we're going to make Elizabeth happy right here. We're going to put a sign up right along the Linden Avenue Bridge at Case Landing. There you go. Look at that.
Fantastic.
The Riverway.
Access point for the Great Miami Riverway. It's an access for paddlecraft. And that went up last year when the landing was open. You mentioned former Councilman Charlie Case. Boy, he was really supportive of the whole regional river concept, wasn't he?
Yes. Yes, Charlie, he was, again, one of the original members on the Ohio's Great Corridor Association, and he was instrumental in literally driving up and down the corridor and meeting with individual cities to discuss this initiative and to get them excited about it and see the vision, and he had a significant role in bringing this all together. So obviously it made sense to designate that spot as Case Landing.
Yeah. In the few minutes that we have remaining, Katie, I want to give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about one of your new responsibilities as Community Development Director. Last year, a neighborhood enhancement program was launched by the City of Miamisburg. It was called Made in Miamisburg. We talked about it here on the program. There are some changes coming to that program. Assume the viewer doesn't know anything about it. Tell us what it is and what's coming up in 2018.
Okay. Yes, like Gary said, this program was rolled out last summer, fall. There are some changes and some tweaks to it. This program is now called Miamisburg Cares, and that stands for Community Action for Revitalization, Engagement, and Sustainability. So this program, it focuses on 3 pillars, and that is infrastructure, building and housing stock, and quality of life. And so what we will do with this program is literally identify a small neighborhood or a small targeted section of the city, 1 per year. So we have 1 in 2018, we'll have 1 in 2019. It will change from year to year, where we will meet with residents and we will discuss with them, what they see, is good, what needs changed, what they would like to see, and really empower them and give the residents the tools that they need to kind of manage their neighborhood and really see quality of life initiatives enforced and raised in the community. So where we're at is we are focusing on it's called the North Downtown neighborhood right now, and there will be some more projects that roll out of that later on this summer and fall, and then again next year we'll have a new neighborhood. So it's a great program, and again, like I said, it's we'll go in and look at roads, signs, streets, sidewalks, telephone poles, lighting. We'll look at that type of thing, and then we'll also look on the building side of if someone needs help painting, porch situations. I mean that sort of aesthetic, structural aspect, and then quality of life, like I said, and that crosses a huge spectrum of things that we can do.
So last year, that neighborhood that was designated just north of downtown, that's carrying over for 2018, correct?
It is, yes.
And then we're going to look at other neighborhoods maybe for 2019.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there were a couple items that we still need to be in that neighborhood and really give them the tools to empower them.
We'll look forward to learning more about that also in the future. You mentioned an Explore Miamisburg website earlier. Let's tell what that is, and then maybe an email address for yourself if anyone wants to follow up with any questions on the things we've discussed.
Yes, Deb, it's exploremiamisburg.com, and on that website is a list of the downtown businesses and then also events that are coming up.
Sure. How about contact information for yourself?
It's Katie, Katie.Frank@cityofmiamisburg.org.
And Elizabeth, contact information for yourself in case anyone wants to follow up on our topics.
Sure, they can always find me on greatmiamiriverway.com or econnor@mcdwater.org.
Okay, Elizabeth Connor, coordinator of the Great Miami Riverway, Katie Frank, Community Development Director with the City of Miamisburg, joining us here on Let's Talk Miamisburg. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
And we will remind you, the viewer, that our next episode is set to premiere on July the 11th. Among our topics will be the Miamisburg branch of the Dayton Metro Library and a recap of some bicentennial activities. See you then. I'm Gary Giles. Thanks for watching.